So you have your videos from your sermons on a Sunday. Would you like to see how to post them to YouTube and to make that content readily available for the public to find? So I'm going to show you how to break down your church video and post it on the internet.
So here's a video on how I create the video file for upload to YouTube. I start out with a blank project. I just call it NLCC-start. This is going to be my blank document. As you can see, I have my text plus here, my church icon or image that we use to start off the video with, and then I have a sound file. I always start with these presets. I'll actually have a YouTube subscribe image here, and this is left there from every video. So with this start, I don't want to build the video here, so I'll go into DaVinci Resolve and hit save project as test. I've already used the image name, so I don't want to write over what I've already created. So here we go. It's good to keep everything the same so that people are familiar with your layout, and so they just recognize who you are. But I have the downloaded video. What I'm going to do is just copy this from my download, and I'm going to take this in here, real simple, and just drop it in. From here, I need to look at where did the video start. Sometimes the media team, what they'll do is they start this video broadcasting from OBS to Facebook. I'm trying to get them to stream to Facebook and YouTube live at the same time, but that hasn't happened yet. Still working on that conversion. So what I do from here, since I've dropped it, I've verified the beginning of the video is the correct place. It's not 20 minutes before the service starts. Then what I'll do is go down here and I'll click the audio. These two are linked in DaVinci Resolve right now. And then what I'll do is click on audio, and then I will click on AI voice isolation. So this is gonna go through and remove any background voice. It's gonna focus on Pastor Lawrence's voice. Sometimes what I'll do is, depending on the audio level, I will bump it up to around 7, maybe 10, and this makes it loud enough for YouTube. Sometimes I've noticed when the service is recording, it's quite calm. And then what I'll do is make sure this YouTube subscribe, is in a good location. I'll keep it right around 1 minute, maybe 40 seconds to 1 minute. It really depends on if they've broadcast images up here. If there's an image on the screen, I will not put the YouTube subscribe option in that area because I don't want them to be distracted. See, like here, we're focused on Pastor Lawrence, and this is good. I don't really change much since I leave this asset on the start. I have sized it the way I want, so I generally keep that subscribe button exactly like it is. Since it's a preset, it's good and it's right where I want it. You can listen to the whole service, see if the audio is correct. So I can see that it's a little higher here than it needs to be. So I'm going to drop it down to the 6, 7 area. And you can tell, you've created a few videos. the wavelengths are actually really high. So you can go through here, and I know when the end of the service is, when Pastor Lawrence has gone away. You can see him greeting at the end. Now, do you want everyone to see the contact numbers? That's really up to you and your church, which is fine. You know, they put it up there. They're expecting people to see those numbers. I generally won't let it go too far. And you can see the multimedia team has actually disabled sound right here. So I probably don't need to let this go that long. So what I'll do is I'll just cut this. And if I go here, I'll hit backspace. Then what I'll do for a closing piece to say thank you and whatnot, I'll click on effects. I'll go to generators, and I'll put a solid color in here. Pretty simple. Then I'll change that color to whatever I feel like making that day. Let's go for blue. It didn't change it, so let's try that again. We'll go. There we go. We'll hit that. So there we go. And then I'll just throw a quick text plus in here. And with this text plus, we'll write something as simple as thank you. You know, you can play with this. I'm just going to throw it in there. I'm not going to go through and really show you everything I do. I am building presets, which in the future I'll put them on this channel and let people download them on the presets. You know, it's just the fonts that you use, the style, you know, the height that, you know, because you can go here and adjust that. I'm trying to make some presets of stuff that I constantly use on all my videos that I'd like to share with other churches around here so that they have them. Everything's going to be built for DaVinci Resolve, and in the future you should be able to download these when I get them all done. I'm just testing and making the plugins for DaVinci Resolve. These will be click and install. I'm not sure if I'll include fonts. A lot of stuff I use has non-default fonts for my operating system, and I use Windows and I use Linux. I use Linux more than Windows, but I use DaVinci Resolve in all of those. So the next steps that I do, and let me go back. Why I leave this space here is because I use in-screen from YouTube. So when I add the end screen, it will pop up in this area where the video has ended, or the sermon is ended but not the video, so that you have other choices for my playlist or my newest video that I've uploaded in the channel. So that's a good thing to have as a little space at the end. And the quietness lets people know that the sermon's over also. It just doesn't end. But the next thing I do after I've curated this, checked for audio, you can turn on a bunch of dialogue leveler. I usually don't need that here because Pastor Lawrence is a constant speaker. His levels are constantly the same. So that's a good thing. We cut out the video, or excuse me, we cut out the music, and I'll explain that in a different video later on, why I cut out the singing at the beginning of the sermon. YouTube was causing issues, and I was getting, constant flags. So it's just much easier to cut out the music sung at the beginning of the service. And that's the same for Facebook. That's why this video is short. It's because the multimedia team did not record the music, the piano and stuff like that. They've got some great singers at this church. So the next thing that I do before I publish this video is I go up to Timeline, AI Tools, and create the subtitles from audio. You're going to want to do this so that you have subtitles. I like to make my own subtitles. Letting YouTube create the subtitles, you have to go back in and review those subtitles. I have found that they do the text to speech, or it's not text to speech, but it's speech to text, is not always correct. And I've found some pretty bad translations, not like bad words or anything. It was just that they didn't understand Pastor Lawrence's speech or whatnot, and the translation was I had to edit a lot on that. And with DaVinci Resolve, I can do that on screen before I publish. And what I do is you'll see it here in a second, and this is going to take 1 minute and 18 seconds to analyze for creating the subtitles. And when that's done, I'll be back to explain a little bit more how I inspect the text to speech or speech to text translation. I'm going to speed this up so I don't have to wait around for the video to catch up. So at 800%, it should only take a few seconds. So there you go. It's finished. Took about 2 minutes to finish the video, and now you can see the text to speech or speech to text. I keep on getting it backwards. It looks pretty good. So you give it a once over, and you can listen to it as we're playing. But yeah, it's pretty good at this. It's, I would say, about 99% accurate, which is why we have to remove it. We need to review it, if I can get it right. And once this is done, you go all the way through. You can see that this is a 32-minute, almost 33-minute video. We go over here to the deliver page. So what I have to do is, I always do like NLCC and then today's date. Something simple. And then I make sure that I go browse, and I want to put it in a folder. This is just a 500 gig NVMe. So it's nice and fast. I need to make sure it goes to a fast drive. And then this video, I want to set it for the best rate. I always set it for 4K. Go down here, and those subtitles that we created, I want to make sure that this is going to an SRT file. This SRT file is what YouTube uses to create subtitles, and you tell it which track. So you could technically translate it to multiple languages in here. I don't do that. Should I? Well, what I do is I do an English export, and then I allow YouTube to translate that for me. I believe they use the subtitles. I'm not 100% sure. And I've only seen it translated to other languages once in a while on my other channel. I'll get about 22 translations. I guess that's good. My other channel, I do Linux open source software. So there's a lot of Germans. I have Brazilians that watch my channel. So that YouTube is taking my English translation and translating it to other languages. So I always start out with English. This is what we need to do. So in DaVinci Resolve, after you've selected all of your settings, my encoder's NVIDIA, this looks all the same, 24 frames per second. I hit add to queue. Once I hit add to queue, it shows up here, and then I hit render. From here, it just creates the video. It's going to be two separate files. One's going to be a QuickTime file at 4K, and the other file is going to be the subtitle file. So it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to do. I don't have a lot of issues with this. It's worked for me for what I've done. It's worked for my other channels for what I've completed. Now, I did start out just doing, I didn't do 4K. I just did the lower settings. And then some of my viewers were like, hey, can you do 4K? I watch your videos on my front room TV. It would look better. So I started spending the extra time on making 4K videos. And you could see right here, it does take more time to export into 4K. I'm okay with that. I usually just let it go and it just does its thing. I don't have a problem with that. And this might be taking a little bit longer because I'm also recording this on OBS Studio right now. But that's what you have to do to make a good video is 4K export. People do notice it, and I'm not sure if everyone does 4K. There's people out there that can do SD if they wanted, if they don't mind lower resolution. Maybe they have a slower internet or less bandwidth. The people that comment that I have seen on my other channels are usually the ones that watch in 4K. So I'm okay with spending that extra time and building a 4K video. We'll just let this job finish out here. It's about 30% done. Let's add a little speed ramp so we don't have to wait around. This should only take a few seconds sped up. I should note here that when I record on OBS, I record at 60 frames per second. You don't have to record at 60 frames per second, but if you're making images and drawing, illustrating on your videos, it's better to have extra frames per second so your illustrations don't look choppy, and people will notice if they're choppy. So I just set it to 60 frames per second. If I don't need 60 frames per second, it's going to be reduced to 30 frames per second to save some disk space. Really, I have a 2 terabyte NVMe for all my recorded video. Once that's going to get full, which I haven't made it full yet, I will copy it to my NAS. I like to save all my curated videos for future. I don't know if I'm ever gonna go back to a video I've created and do something again. It's saved in YouTube, so if I ever needed it from YouTube, I'll just go download it from there. And since it's saved in 4K or HD, Ultra HD, however you want to state it, I'm good with editing post videos. So here we see the end. We've actually completed this render in 7 minutes and 36 seconds. So we're going to look for this video, and let me bring it up. So here we go. It is NLCC, today's date. That's a 25 gig file. So that's a 4K resolution. And then what we're going to do is the second file here, that's our subtitles. So that's what we'll upload to YouTube. And let me see. I'm not gonna upload. I'm not gonna save this upload, but I'm gonna definitely do an upload for you. So let me switch accounts. I've minimized the screen here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a video. We're gonna upload it, and what we'll do is we're gonna select it, and then we're going to go to 500 gig hard drive. We're gonna choose this NLCC today's date file. We'll hit upload. This is gonna take several minutes. So what you need to do is set your title. So NLCC, and I'm just gonna call it today's date test file. And then what we're gonna do is you'll fill out the description, and we're gonna see the uploading status here. It's 14 minutes left because it's a huge file. Now I have a 1 gig internet, so that helps me. Then what you're gonna do, you're gonna select the thumbnail. You really want to do a thumbnail. So I have the standard one set. I have multiple thumbnails. These thumbnails could be like special guest, Pastor Lawrence. And what I want to do actually is change this thumbnail to put Pastor Lawrence here on it so that people can see him all the time when every video pops up. For guest speakers, I probably won't put their pictures up, but I might write guest speakers. So I'm trying to think of how do I make these thumbnails more catchy, because you want them to have detail, not a lot of detail, not overpowering, but you don't want them underpowered, also having too little. I'm starting to think that this might be too little detail. I don't know. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Then we're going to choose a playlist. Now, we're obviously going to do Pastor Lawrence, his sermons. And then I also want to do all sermons, because I can put this playlist for all sermons up on a video. And if someone clicks it, it'll go forever. I think they have like 290 videos they've created. I've only done like 20 for them, so this is newer for me. I said I would help them out. They needed the help. I always put no, this is not made for kids. There are restrictions, because like if you put made for kids, comments is automatically turned off. I don't restrict my video to viewers over 18 like adult content. That's not this. We're not going to be dealing with that. So I just leave it on no, don't restrict my video. Then I hit next. And this is where that subtitles file comes in. I'll hit add, upload file with timing. And then NLCC, today's date, subtitle. You hit OK. And then you can review this again to see if there's any typos. But this is 32 minutes worth of subtitles, so I don't want to review it now. I wanted to review it in DaVinci Resolve. So I'll hit done. It's going to upload that. And this is where you go add an end screen. I don't do import from video. I just hit add. And then you can choose whichever one you want. 2 videos. And these I always just choose the first one. I think that YouTube does a pretty good selection for me. And then that's going to be the end screen. That's why we leave a little bit of video at the end. So this end screen doesn't cover up the sermon and block people's views. Then I do ad cards. What I always do is the playlist. And this one I'm just going to do all sermons. I switch back and forth between Pastor Lawrence and all sermons. You can see I have 25 videos here, and I've gone back and done 98 for Pastor Lawrence, just because he's the main pastor, or you need to make sure that his sermons are prioritized. You can also see my short videos, guest speakers, church information, and former pastor, Reverend Kenji Nita. He's now in Seattle, Washington. So they didn't have a lot of videos of him. I was surprised. I thought they started earlier with their videos, but I was wrong. So, but I wasn't doing this back then, so I don't know if they removed the videos when he left and went to Seattle and Pastor Lawrence came in. I don't know. They're both great preachers. So we'll do, I forgot to select so you can do the playlist and then a custom message if you want. A teaser text, great. If I can spell it correctly. Sermon. And then you can see that it'll pop up where the cards show up. So change that to whatever you need or want, or change it for every video so that it looks different and people decide to click on it. Then you hit save, and then that is it. I've done English. We can tell the uploading is still 9 minutes left. So next. And then once those uploading has finished and it's converting to SD, it's going to do a copyright check. So I'm going to fast forward the video here so we can see the copyright check. So here we go. The file is actually uploaded now. So now it's going to begin processing into SD. When it's processing for the standard definition, it should be doing the copyright checks. So what we're going to do now is I'm not going to wait for that copyright check. We'll come back. I'll record that here in a minute. So I'm going to hit next. Usually for the visibility, you're going to go set this to publish to your subscribers in the world right now. But for the sake of this video, I don't want this to air. So I'm going to set this out a few days, a couple weeks actually. And then I'm going to come back and delete this. A lot of times, like on my other channels, I will set it out 2 to 4 hours out. And so what this does is it allows YouTube to curate this and look for any searches, any possibilities that they could publish this to, or individuals they can publish this to. There are pros and cons of waiting. Depending on the channel, yeah, set it out a couple hours. But if you're doing like a game channel, you just publish it. For churches, I would just publish it. People expect to see a sermon online as soon as possible. So they know that if you're not doing a live stream, they're expecting it probably an hour after the recording is finished. And that's what I'd like to do. I always am not able to. I might actually send it out, at the most 4 hours later. It really depends. One day the server I'd set up for recording actually got turned off by accident. I don't know if someone hit it with their foot or actually turned off the power, but I had to drive to New Life turn it back on, come home. Then I was able to remotely download that file for me to stick it in DaVinci Resolve. And you don't have to do DaVinci Resolve. I do. It's free. I actually like it so much. I've paid the $300 and purchased it because I want to help the development of the software. So it looks like it's finished. No, it's got 10 minutes left on copyright check. And I don't have any issues now since I've stopped putting in the choir singing or the music that's going, the Christmas music. Anything that has copyrights, I tend to leave it out. If they're going to show a short video, that could be problematic. It happened once and it was a short video and actually didn't get recorded, but the sound was recorded and there was no copyrights. I wasn't sure if I would get a copyright strike for that. There wasn't. But what I did was when they were playing the video and the video wasn't recorded, I actually put an image up of the video itself, the movie, the expert of the movie, and I wanted to give the movie credit for the audio that was there and actually put it in the description. Portion is from this movie, blah, 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 blah. And I don't remember the name of it. But you can see that we're processing up to 4K. So let's go back to the checks. So copyright checks, there's no issues found. So I got that green mark. I do have 3 videos right now that I'm going to go over about the copyright checks and what you can do. I haven't found a solution for this channel. They do have the CCLI, I believe it is. I'll put it in the description what they have. But it should cover all music, all hymnals. And I have copyright strikes saying, no, it's not covered under your license agreement. I don't know why. I've looked. It should be. I've even contacted the copyright holders, and it seemed kind of fishy because they wouldn't even really respond to me. Their only response was, no, we're moving it to the next level. You need to remove our copyrighted material. And I did, but I blanked it out. So this video is completed. I have no copyright issues. Visibility is set out. I could set it as an unlisted or a private video, but I'm just going to delete it after this is over. So I'll just hit schedule. And then from schedule, I can actually send this out for others to view that are managers. So I'm a manager here. But yeah, this is a test file. I'll end up deleting it. And you could see that there's some videos here that are pretty good. But I do shorts, and I'll cover that in another video. Some of the shorts do pretty good. There's one for 1,700. That's 1,700 views. And then what this is, we need to make sure that, see, I didn't put a related video. I need to go back and do a shorts list, hit save, do a related video, and hit save. So yeah, that's a quick, it's not very quick, it's a long video of what I do when I upload a video every Sunday. I like the SD and HD qualities. And this is a quick tutorial. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave it below. And I'll work on letting you know answers if you have any, or if you have any suggestions for me, I'll take those into advisement. I'm always wanting to learn better methods, better styles, but that's it. Thank you for viewing Hands of Purpose channel, and we'll see you next time.